So anyhow, to finish that thought, um, it does seem like it's necessary that some monumental thing happen to humanity, something of biblical proportion. And the only thing any of us as individuals can do is prepare ourselves. We can't make other people prepare. But what we can do is act as heralds and warn them of the dangers of being too complacent. Okay, it never hurts to be prepared. And if it's true that we're going to have some huge a sea change, let's say, of biblical proportions, it doesn't hurt to be prepared. And how do you be prepared for that? Well, all you can do is prepare your own heart and mind, your spirit, your soul, your body. All you can do is that, and go out and, do your best to convey to other people how easy it is for humanity, individually and collectively, to be short-sighted, narrow-minded, because of the way we've been trained to have all these blind spots, to not see things that are impending and looming. Like, for example, we didn't see 9/11 coming. How many decent, upright people out there saw that coming? So we never want to be caught off guard again for any huge event. And some people say, yeah, it's going to come in the form of a nuclear war. Well, I personally don't believe that. I believe that literally God literally took that off the table. That we're like children playing with matches. What do? Do you just, tell the children, I'm going to tell you once, don't play with the matches and trust them? No. You're taking the matches away. So even though we might have all these nuclear weapons in Russia and America and all over the world, for crying out loud, doesn't mean that God is going to allow them to be used in a manner that's going to hurt innocent populations ever again. It was a one-time event that for whatever purposes God let that happen. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki examples I'm talking about. So I believe this is something that if any kind of warfare is going to be conventional, this Battle of Armageddon, if it hasn't already happened, which it may have, that's the whole thing, or we may be in the midst of it, we don't know, because a lot of it's happening on a higher realm, on a metaphorical, spiritual basis, that these things are happening. So the main thing about this here, the point is that the Bible talks about those that don't warn as being complicit. You've got blood on your hands. We're the watchmen. Anybody out there that's a believer, that claims to be a believer in Jesus, in God, in Christianity, okay, then you're the one that's got to be the leader in this matter, okay, and do whatever you can, whatever's God presses upon your heart to go out there and warn other people that they need to ready their mind, because a lot of people are really hung up on this idea of the future. Well, I've got this to look forward to. I'm going to retire soon, and I sure don't want some Jesus returning to interrupt my retirement. Or, people have a million and one reasons in their head why this would be disruptive. They love their own little world. I mean, I've got plenty of reasons to love my own little world, okay? Plenty. But I, too, have to turn it all over and say all the possessions I have belong to God. Everything. That includes my body, if you want to call the body a possession. It's a grant. It's a gift from God that we have the body and the senses and all this stuff. So, everything we have, ever could have, has always belonged to God. Every breath we breathe, it's by His goodness and His will that any of us are able to stand, period. And that we have wherewithal at all. Where did our brains come from? Where did our ability to love come from? It's from every good thing we've ever experienced in our life. The joy of our sexuality, that's from Him. He created the female. So all glory to God. I mean, what a perfect, opposite, unifying specimen is the female. Kind of what Don Henley said, God's finest creatures, that's the woman. And so, I'm certainly not one to marginalize women and suggest this whole presidential thing, women aren't qualified to be president. That's not it at all. I mean, Believe me, anyone practically on earth would have been better than Hillary Clinton, okay? So I think we could be very grateful to God, okay, that Hillary wasn't elected. Donald Trump, in my estimation, has already done enough. Initially, I really was a ringer. I knew that he and the Clintons had been close before, and I thought he was just a stand-in to hand the whole thing to her. And I had suspicions about that for a long time. Then it came through. He's for real. He really cares about America. He feels a sense of compunction that he's got so much, and he's seen, the prosperity being snatched out of those that don't deserve to have it snatched from them. People have, worked hard all their lives, and they've seen their life savings stolen by these vulture capitalists that are out there stealing people's houses. Okay, and it ticks him off, and he feels compelled to do something, and that's what he's doing. He's doing what he feels he can do. The highest office in the land, which by today's standards, with this new world order cabal, is a grassroots stand. It is saying, something, in order to put people down, I've got to have the highest position in the Western world, the leader of the free world, and that has everybody on the earth is America. So this whole thing about immigration and stuff, this is the best that we can do for the refugees is set a good example. Ask anybody, what is the most effective means of teaching? Okay, it is by setting a good example. So I can watch you, show me. And recent example of what I'm trying to say is, personally, what happened to me recently is I had to replace an instrument panel in my car, and it's a foreboding job. So I called the dealer to see how they would charge, and they want $500 for this. And so I thought, well, what the heck? That's a lot of bread. So I went on and I got a YouTube video, and this fellow was placing one on an identical model to my car, and he did it. The video is only 7 minutes long, and he showed how to do it. There in front of my face. This is how you do it. And I realized, I can do this thing. I then just watching him do it and succeeding in it and showing exactly the steps to what to do. And so I did it, and I saved like $400 on the job. So one example of how we teach best, my example, okay, show me. Missouri, right, the show me state. So this is what other nations are looking to America for, and that's the best we can do to help them out of the oppression they're facing. Is not this, America's so non-oppressive, we're just such a wonderful place to come, when we're letting our own sons and daughters die out in the cold, okay? That's a matter of record. That's a matter of fact. That is the truth. That's an inarguable statistic. Okay, and then I am going to be, somebody's going to think bigotry of me. They're going to think racism of me. They're going to think xenophobia of me. They're going to think I'm unempathetic. I'm not compassionate. Okay, I hate it. Okay, I resent the implications to high heavens. Okay, I know other people like myself resent those implications too. So the best thing Donald can do for the rest of the world is to get our together here at home. All right, that's a matter of fact. Okay, and what he's got to do, he's got to on this poverty thing, which he brought up, and this is what on board with him, is that he knows is the beast of the belly. Okay? This is where all the job security comes. All these establishmentarians. Okay, about the problems, they'd be twiddling their thumbs, man. They wouldn't know what to do with all their time. They didn't have one crisis or another to work on. Okay, I mean, I'm going to list a few of the problems that are induced through poverty. Okay, and poverty in and of itself is a bad thing. Okay, our standard of living has reduced. That proves regression, evidence for regression. The wealth disparity keeps growing. Okay, that's evidence for regression. Okay, make no mistakes. Be very clear about these things. Everybody's very clear about what is real and what is truth and what's not. What are facts and action. We've all got to get very clear in order to explain it to other people in a very simple, succinct manner, concisely, coherently, so people can understand what you're trying to convey to them. And it's so important to give these warnings out to people. And that's what education is, knowledge. It's an anathema to ignorance and confusion. Okay, and people are just, you got to let them know you're being cowardly. This is not bliss. It's not okay. And I can't just let you choose ignorance without at least confronting you, at least trying to persuade you to believe in empowerment through knowledge and say, yes, this is uncomfortable. I've got to confront this thing or else I'm a part of the problem. That's what it comes down to. You're either a part of the solution or you're the problem. There is no middle ground, as much as we all would like to be, that I just don't deal with it. I think about it. So, no, it doesn't work that way. We've all got to get in the pool and we've all got to stand up for what's right. Otherwise, we've got no reward to look forward to. And there is a rewarder. That's God Almighty. This thing lasts forever. We're going to live forever. And if you expect to go to a better world, if you want deserving of going to a better world, of inheriting a better world, you've got to work for it. You've got to know what you want. You've got to know who's in your way and what way, and fight for it, not just for yourself. That better world has to embrace humanity at large. Everybody has to be a part of that, or else it's not the right better word. It's one that is sanctioned above, and it'll never bring you true happiness. No matter how good things are for you, how many billions of dollars you can amass and mansions all over the world and trips you can take all over, whatever it is that floats your boat, clothing, whatever, knickknacks and trinkets, jewelry, whatever. Okay, none of that's going to bring you satisfaction and happiness in the long run. So we've settled that the best thing we could do for the immigrants in these oppressed nations and refugees is to get our own act together. Okay, and like I said, I welcome all the immigrants in the world, even right here in California. You can come right here. Okay, once we get our own act together, once we dry up poverty, abject poverty and homelessness, with the poverty comes the crime. Think of all the people that are employed right now in the problem, in the poverty industrial complex, the problem industrial complex, crime industrial complex, the dubious warfare industrial complex. It would be next to impossible to get a dubious war started once everybody is prosperous and free. You can say, well, now I sound like a hypocrite because I prescribe to Victor Hugo, and on the other hand, I say I prescribe to prosperity. Not inconsistent. I pointed out at the beginning, in this current realm, in this paradigm, okay, Victor Hugo is right that if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, the chances of you becoming a spoiled, no for nothing brat are much higher than those born into adversity that have to fight, to survive and struggle. And a lot of that has to do with poverty. Poverty is definitely a form of adversity in this realm. So that's what Victor Hugo is trying to get across, and it's not inconsistent. I don't want prosperity if it means that a brother or sister is going to starve to death and out in the cold tonight. That's going to die anywhere in the world, not just America. I care about everybody all over the world. So I want to see this thing fixed. And it's going to be one way or the other, sooner or later, with the hand of God working through men first. And if and when that fails, and these people are just too evil, and they do something like another, Fourth Reich or whatever, Third Reich, I forget what they called the, Nazism and all that. Okay, because this New World Order is very similar. If you look at these people, that one world order that Hitler was trying to accomplish, that's the same thing these people are trying to accomplish through, unspeakable genocide, getting rid of over, 6.5 billion people they want to get rid of. Okay? Like over 90% of the human population. That's what they have designs on. And they haven't give up. That spirit of Satan is still in their hearts, and they're going to fight like hell to get their spoiled little brat way, their hypocritical, elitist, evil, satanic way. Okay, but it's not going to bode well for people. They're going down, but it's scary. It's just like a wild beast, very powerful one that you've got cornered. And the Bible even refers to this thing as the beast going out with great rage and anger, to fight against the good and righteous ones out there, the saints. and all this. So these are very precarious times. It's very foreboding for humanity. What is coming.